Well, Ying Kai was a man from Taiwan who grew up in a church planter's home. When he became an adult, he became a church planter. He went to he went to Hong Kong. He planted 5 churches in 5 years. Had about 500 people involved, and by anybody's standards, that's pretty good. But then the Lord called him to a city in mainland China of 13 million people. Plus, he put on his heart an unreached people group that lived in 5,000 villages. And basically what he said is, yeah, what I've been doing is not going to work here. And he just put everything down and just began to pray. God, how do you want me to do this? Well, the Lord took him back to the New Testament. And when he got back to the New Testament, he noticed that the principles there were totally different than what he'd been doing. He and his wife were great soul winners, and they'd been doing it all themselves. But what he saw in the New Testament, it's not about what we can do. It's about what we can do and then what we can train them to do, who will train others to do this. And so it ended up in what's been called T4T, training for trainers. And I love it because they gave him, said, now you set a life goal. And he set a life goal of 200 churches. 3 months later, he called his supervisors back and said, what do I do now? They said, why? I've already reached my life goal. They just kind of shook their head and said, well, I guess just keep doing whatever you're doing. So the book T4T was written 9 years, 9 months after he began. And his system had generated 158,000 churches with 1.7 million people baptized. Now you're talking about China. So you get baptized over China, you better mean it. And so that's where we picked it up when we learned about it, learned about the book.